The Apple iPhone 13 is looking incredible, and I'll be sharing the details right after this. Today, we've got news of better hardware across the whole range of the iPhone 13, along with more colors and some pricing information. Before we get started though, please like the video if you're an Apple fan, and let me know in the comments what phone you're currently using, and if you haven't already, then hit subscribe now so you don't miss a thing in the future. So the first story of the day is the only bad news we have to share. I told you guys before that even though Touch ID would make a lot of sense to return this year, it's not going to be happening in the iPhone 13. Mark Gurman of Bloomberg has reported in his latest Power On newsletter that while Touch ID was being tested and Apple were working on the new technology, it didn't make the cut and it won't be in the iPhone 13. It's not going to be in the final version of the iPhone 13, and most likely not in future iPhones either. Apple's plan is to embed the Face ID sensors underneath the display in the future, and they'll be sticking with Face ID only for the iPhones, so Touch ID is not going to be making a return, although it will still be in the iPhone SE again and many other products in their range, just not going to be on the new iPhones. We've also got a new report from DigiTimes that says Apple have massively increased demand for millimeter wave 5G modems in the iPhone, and when it comes to the iPhone 13, over 60% of them will include millimeter wave. Now this means it's likely only going to be for the iPhone 13 Pro and the iPhone 13 Pro Max, but they will be extending it to multiple different countries, whereas last year it was only USA that had millimeter wave iPhones. Now DigiTimes say a lot, so it's always a bit of a 50-50 chance if the information is true, but a few other sources have also provided this information, so it does seem likely. Next up, we've got a leak from Majinbuu on Twitter where he shows us we may be getting a rose gold iPhone 13. He's provided two images of the rose gold iPhone 13 Pro Max, so it's great news that it could be coming, although he does say in his tweet that he was given no information to go with the images, and he even states that it could be a discarded variant or something planned for the future, so it could be happening, but it also could not be. Now next up, we've got great news for those of you that are concerned about pricing when it comes to the iPhone 13. While not a huge change from the predecessor, we do have an upgraded chip, upgraded displays, upgraded battery capacities, along with camera improvements as well, so many have been expecting a price increase. According to industry analyst TrendForce, it's not going to be the case, and Apple have decided against any price increases in the range. This means we'll see the iPhone 13 mini starting at $699, the iPhone 13 starting from $799, the iPhone 13 Pro starting from $999, and the 13 Pro Max starting from $1,099. Now TrendForce have a strong track record and tend not to provide this sort of information until we're very close to launch, so it should mean that it's accurate. The only issue is of course that if there are supply shortages, this could affect the market prices, but from the sounds of it, Apple have done all they can to ensure as much demand as possible is going to be met. With launch next month, we'll no doubt have leaks flooding in, but overall the iPhone 13 is looking like a good improvement over the predecessor. The A15 is an incredible chipset, we've got slightly larger battery capacities across the whole of the range. When it comes to the Pro models, we're finally getting the 120Hz displays that we all wanted. For those of you excited for the iPhone 13, we're now going to run through the full specs, design, and the expected pricing to help you guys decide if it will be worth the wait. For my regular viewers, you guys have seen this, so just skip to the next video, but if you're new here, then make sure you hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So first up, we've got the iPhone 13 mini. With the iPhone 13 mini, we get a 5.4-inch OLED display. It's expected to have a 2340 by 1080 resolution, and this gives us 465 pixels per inch, but it's only going to be a 60Hz display. On the front, we get a notch that's going to house the selfie camera and Face ID, and on the back, we get a dual camera setup with a wide and an ultra-wide camera. It will of course be powered up by the new A15 Bionic, and it's expected to come with 4GB of RAM and a choice of 64, 128 or 256 storage. It's coming with a 2406 mAh battery with at least 20-watt fast charge, and it will support wireless charging. We get Bluetooth, 5G and Wi-Fi 6, and the phone is of course going to ship with iOS 15. I'm expecting the iPhone 13 mini to start from around $700, but I'll update the price as soon as we get an accurate accurate leak. Next up, we get the standard iPhone 13. With the iPhone 13, we get a 6.1-inch OLED display. It's expected to have a 2532 by 1170 resolution, and this gives us 460 pixels per inch, but again, it's only a 60Hz display. On the front, we get a notch to house the selfie camera and the Face ID, and on the back, we've got a dual camera setup with a wide and an ultra-wide camera. It will of course be powered by the new A15 Bionic, and we get 4GB of RAM and a choice of 64, 128 or 256 storage. It's coming with a 3095 mAh battery with at least 20W fast charging, and again it does support wireless charging. We get Bluetooth, 5G and Wi-Fi 6, and the phone is going to ship with iOS 15. I'm expecting the iPhone 13 to start from $800, but again I'll update the prices as soon as we get an accurate leak. Next up, we've got the iPhone 13 Pro. With the iPhone 13 Pro, we get a 6.1-inch OLED display, but this time it's got a 2532 by 1170 resolution, which gives us 460 pixels per inch, but on the iPhone 13 Pro, it's going to be a 120Hz LTPO display. On the front, we get a notch to house the selfie camera and the Face ID, and on the back, we get a triple camera setup as well as a LiDAR scanner. The configuration is going to be made up of a wide angle, an ultra wide, and a telephoto camera. It will of course be powered by the A15 Bionic, and it's expected to come with 6GB of RAM and a choice of 128, 256, 512 and even 1TB storage. It's coming with a 3095 mAh battery with at least 20W fast charge, and wireless charging is supported. We get Bluetooth, 5G, Wi-Fi 6, and it's of course going to ship with iOS 15. I'm expecting the iPhone 13 Pro to start from around $1,050, but again this is just an estimate. Finally, we have the iPhone 13 Pro Max. With the iPhone 13 Pro Max, we get a 6.7-inch OLED display. It's expected to have 2778 by 1128 resolution, and this gives us 458 pixels per inch. Now again, this is going to be a 120Hz LTPO display. On the front, we get the notch with selfie camera and Face ID, and on the back, we get a triple camera setup plus the LiDAR scanner. The configuration is going to be made up of a wide, an ultra wide, and a telephoto camera. Like the Pro, it's coming with the A15 Bionic. It's expected to come with 6GB of RAM and a choice of 128, 256, 512 or 1TB storage. It's coming with a 4352 mAh battery, and again we expect at least 20W fast charge as well as wireless charging. We get Bluetooth, 5G, Wi-Fi 6, and the phone ships with iOS 15. Now this is the most premium, and we're expecting the iPhone 13 Pro Max to start from around $1,150, but again I'll confirm this as soon as we get a leak. So it's great that we've got so much information on the iPhone 13 series, and with launch in September it's not too long until the official reveal from Apple. Thankfully there is expected to be plenty of stock for the iPhones, and Apple are reportedly not going to be affected by the chip shortage that is causing so many other companies problems. Now of course, as always, I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments, so who out there is excited for the Apple iPhone 13 and what model are you waiting for? But thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, smash a thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down twice, and I'll see you guys in the next one.